The internet thrives on speculation. That's just the reality of the digital age. And when it comes to public figures, especially those with royal connections, the scrutiny is relentless. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, has been one of the most polarizing figures in recent years, and one of the central topics of conversation surrounding her? The births of her two children, Archie and Lilibet. The rumors? They're non-stop. The allegations? They're aggressive. And the questions? They just keep coming. Let's get into it. The speculation began the moment Meghan announced her first pregnancy. People immediately jumped on what they perceived as inconsistencies. They pointed to how she seemed to breeze through her pregnancy with no visible signs of discomfort, no significant weight gain, no morning sickness. For some, this was enough to start whispering about surrogacy. It didn't stop there. People began dissecting her every move, her every public appearance, looking for evidence to support their theories. It became a full-blown internet frenzy. Then there's the footage. Clips circulated online, particularly on channels like the Royal Griff YouTube channel, showing Meghan allegedly consuming drinks while she was reportedly expecting their second child, Lilibet. That fueled even more speculation. Why, people asked, would someone drink alcohol while pregnant? Was she really pregnant at all? Or was this another piece of the puzzle for those convinced a surrogate was involved? And it wasn't just strangers on the internet fueling these claims. Meghan's own family has thrown gasoline on the fire. Her father, Thomas Markle, her half-brother, and her half-sister, Samantha Markle, have all made explosive claims about her medical history. One of the most shocking allegations? That Meghan underwent a hysterectomy at a young age, which would make it impossible for her to conceive naturally. Samantha, in particular, has been vocal, claiming Meghan has fabricated stories about their shared childhood and accusing her of manipulating the narrative to gain sympathy. These accusations may be personal, but they've added fuel to the already raging fire surrounding Meghan's pregnancies. And then, there's the Lilibet controversy. When Lilibet was born, Meghan and Harry announced the arrival of their daughter with joy, but the internet wasn't having it. Questions began swirling almost immediately, particularly around the doctor who delivered Lilibet, Dr. Melissa Drake. Dr. Drake's sudden disappearance from the public eye raised eyebrows. She shut down her Santa Barbara practice shortly after Lilibet's birth, citing health reasons and a desire to spend more time with her family. But the abruptness of her departure left many of her former patients confused and frustrated. Why, they asked, didn't she arrange for someone else to take over her practice temporarily? Was there more to the story? Was her exit tied, somehow, to Meghan and Harry? The birth certificate added yet another layer of controversy. Dr. Drake's name, which wasn't disclosed at the time of Lilibet's birth, ended up being revealed later.
How? Why?
And then there's the inclusion of Meghan's foreign royal title on the certificate, a move that reportedly goes against California regulations. People started drawing comparisons to other high-profile cases, such as Grimes and Elon Musk, who were denied the ability to include foreign characters on their own child's birth certificate. If it wasn't allowed for them, why was it allowed for Meghan and Harry? The inconsistencies, the unanswered questions, the strange timing, it's all added up to a boiling pot of speculation. And then, of course, you have the skeptics who go even further. They don't just question whether Meghan gave birth to her children naturally, they question whether she gave birth to them at all. The internet is full of theories about surrogacy, about staged pregnancies, about manipulated narratives. Some even point to photos and videos of Meghan during her pregnancies, claiming that her baby bump appeared to shift or change shape in ways that seemed unnatural. These theories may seem far-fetched to some, but for others, they're fuel for the fire. Let's not forget the deeper implications of all this. What does it say about our culture that a woman's pregnancy, something so personal, so intimate, has become the subject of such intense public scrutiny? Meghan isn't the first celebrity to face this kind of speculation, and she won't be the last. But her royal connections, her polarizing public image, and the sheer volume of rumors surrounding her have made her a lightning rod for this kind of attention. And it's not just about Meghan. This kind of scrutiny extends to anyone in the public eye. Celebrities are subjected to a level of examination that most of us can't even imagine. Every move they make, every word they say, every photo they post, it's all dissected, analyzed, and often misinterpreted. The internet has amplified this to an unprecedented degree. Rumors that once would have been confined to tabloid magazines now spread like wildfire across social media, reaching millions of people in a matter of hours. But here's the thing, rumors don't equal truth. Allegations don't equal proof. And speculation, no matter how widespread, doesn't equal fact. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of gossip, especially when it's about someone as high profile as Meghan Markle. But it's important to take a step back and think critically. Where is this information coming from? What's the motivation behind it? And most importantly, what's the evidence? The reality is, we don't know the full story. We don't know the truth about Meghan's pregnancies, about Dr. Drake, about the birth certificates. And we may never know. But what we do know is that this kind of speculation has real consequences. It affects not just Meghan, but her family, her children, and everyone else involved. It perpetuates a culture of intrusion and judgment that can be incredibly damaging, not just to celebrities, but to society as a whole. So what do we do with all this? How do we navigate a world where information, true or false, spreads so quickly and so widely? The answer isn't simple, but it starts with responsibility. Responsibility as consumers of information, to question what we read and to seek out reliable sources. Responsibility as sharers of information, to think before we post or comment or retweet. And responsibility as members of a society, to recognize the humanity of the people we're talking about, and to treat them with the respect and dignity they deserve. Because at the end of the day, Meghan Markle is a human being. She's a mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister. She's someone who has faced an unimaginable level of scrutiny and criticism, much of it fueled by misinformation and speculation. And while it's easy to get caught up in the drama, it's worth remembering that there's a real person at the center of all this, a person who deserves, at the very least, the same basic respect we would want for ourselves. The internet can be a powerful tool for spreading information and fostering discussion. But it can also be a breeding ground for misinformation, for rumors, for baseless accusations. And when it comes to topics as sensitive as pregnancy, as personal as family, as controversial as Meghan Markle, it's more important than ever to approach what we see online with caution and critical thinking.